tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-7.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports here on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. You can find us on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Also on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. On the web at FifthStreetSports.com. Today, folks, hi, we have our resident Oklahoma Brian, and today we have a special guest in the house, Eric Waz from Better IQ. Remember, I promised to have him on the show last Tuesday. Some of the guys were calling in and waiting. Well, he's here today. One of our, everybody that we screen or bring on the show has always been top notch. Great for you guys. Remember, that's our mission statement here, is to get us to become not L7s but sharp players, and this is one of the tools that you're going to need. Eric, glad to have you, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Frank. I'm excited to be here and talk some sports betting today.
Oh, good. See what I mean? We got now. How about you, Brian? Are you there with us? Did we lose Brian? Oh, we lost. We got Brian. There you are, Brian. Say hello to the folks. We got Eric in the house, buddy.
Hey, Eric. Nice to meet you.
How's it going, Brian? How you doing?
Good.
So today, guys, we're gonna go through some of Eric is gonna describe his new site that he just launched, Better IQ, and we're going to talk a little bit about NFL. We got a couple of games that we're kind of focused on, some of the tools we need to, opening week. We want to get started off right. We don't want to be making rookie mistakes on week one. And then, Brian, I think you said you want to follow the third segment. You're going to be talking to Eric about week 2, right?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite handicapping angles. I think there's a lot of value in week 2, depending on what happens week 1. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, great stuff. Well, Eric, so now, we have just a few seconds over here before we got to get going, so we're not going to start into another subject, but we're going to be talking all about NFL. Also, our contest, Brian. What'd you go? 4-1. I went 3-2.
4-1 and a bonus game. I think I gave Nicholls State to win outright on my bonus game. So,
well, that's great. Week. So that's
nicely done.
Yeah, that's the first week of the Fifth Street Challenge. Brian's 4 wins and I have 3 wins. Guys, we'll be right back. We're just going to take a break and we're going to get right into segment 1 with Mr. Eric Waz.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Hi, this is Lou Manfredini. This House Smarts Home Improvement Minute is brought to you by my friends at Ace Hardware. After a long summer, siding can become dirty and mildewed. September is a great time to use a pressure washer to clean it up and inspect for more serious problems before the cold comes. Check first for rotten or warped areas and inspect the caulking, which can shrink and crack over time. For tougher mildew stains, try products like Wet and Forget Outdoor. More information at HouseSmartsTV.com. And now this.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Labor Day sale at Ace, which means it's the perfect time to buy a grill from our exclusive lineup of premium brands, including Weber, Traeger, and more. Right now, get the right grill at the right price, delivered right to your door. Now through Labor Day, hurry in and save $50 on select Weber Spirit grills. Plus, get free assembly and delivery on any grill $3.99 and up, only at Ace. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members only through September 3rd. Store stock only. See participating store for scheduling and details.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. I'm Frank Perez. Today I have my co-host Oklahoma Brian, and we have Eric Waz in the house from Bettor IQ. And today's, folks, we're going to get a real special insight on some of the games, some tools we need. And Eric is going to explain to us some of the things that he has on his site and, you know, what his product is all about, which I know it's good.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Yeah, so Bettor IQ, we launched the site a couple of weeks ago. It's bettoriq.com, and we've got 6 professional sports bettors who bet for a living. These are guys that pay their bills with their gambling winnings, and they're sharing all their insights, writing articles, different content. We got betting tools coming on the way, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And we also sell selections as well. So it's a little bit of everything, and it's a great learning tool, a great place to start for a beginner, and also a great place for a guy who's more serious, because we have content all the way up to, you know, us, you know, including us that do this for a living. So it's a great site for everybody.
So all the guys on your site with give information, they all bet their own games, and this is how they make their living, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
See, that's big to me, because any of these handicappers or people that just give you a bunch of games or stats, and they don't bet their own games, they don't put their money where their mouth is. I got to tell you guys out there, I just flipped a page. You know, the games we give out, the games that we bet, and Eric just said his guys, we bet, we put our money where our mouth is.
You have to. It's you know, there's so many guys out there in this industry. It gets kind of painted in a bad way that try to make a living just, you know, selling selections, selling information. If they're not having any money at stake for them, it's a free roll. They're not, you know, their heart's not into it. They're just hoping they win and trying to meet different quotas. But no, I made a really conscious effort to only target people that I knew were doing really well, extremely well betting on sports, and, you know, and thought we can help educate people and provide some things that you don't see for normal sites like ours. And one of the things is the content we bring, and we have some great content, some great writers. These guys, you know, also can write really well, and kind of give you some insight of how they're thinking, so you kind of see the handicap through their eyes. It's not just, here's a play, go bet this. Here's why we're betting it. Here's the things we're looking at. Right. And then we've got some betting tools coming here in a few weeks that I think will be really good for everybody, and things that we use personally in our own, you know, arsenal. So we have an injury matrix that allows you to see the injuries through the course of the entire season for a team. That's so not just what's on the injury report right now at Don Best, but hey, who was out 3 months ago? Who was out last month? How has it changed? And you can kind of follow the team's results along with their injuries to kind of see how they've impacted a team. So that's one great tool we have. We have a line move report, which shows you how lines moving for each team and each sport. So you can see, hey, is the Nuggets been taking money on the over the last 7 games in a row? I kind of like the over, so maybe I should jump on this game a little bit earlier before the market moves. If I'm going to fade that move, I'll wait later in the betting cycle. So we have a lot of different things to kind of monitor, you know, the schedule, injuries, the betting markets. That stuff's all really important. You kind of need to bring it all together when you're handicapping a game.
See, that's big. So guys out there, so now if you go to Bettor IQ, it's a free subscription, you know, when you sign in there, you'll get all of this, everything that Eric's talked about and going to talk about. These are big for you. I mean, the season's starting. These are all the things that you need. Remember, throughout the whole time, we've always shared and talked about how you need so much good information, so many good things. It's hard to beat this. You're laying $1.10, but this is definitely one of the things that you need to put right on top of your to-go every single week when you're about to make your bets. Brian, what do you think about some of the NFL tools over at Better IQ? Are you with us?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. I haven't checked out Better IQ. I can't wait to check it out as soon as we wrap up the show. Those sound like really neat features, and I'm looking forward to it. That feature that you mentioned, Eric, with the players' individual influence on the game, is that something that you'll have in NBA basketball and college basketball as well?
Yep. So it'll be in every sport. So basically, what it'll allow you to do is you'll click on a team for a given sport, and then you will drill down and you'll see their entire schedule kind of mapped out. So you have the players down the left-hand side, the games across the top, and you can kind of see who's been out. We color code the injuries. So if a guy's out and he's important, it's red. If he's a marginal player, maybe it's yellow. So you can kind of follow the colors and kind of see, okay, when was this team hit hard by injuries? When were they healthy? And kind of overlay that against their results and say, okay, what is the real impact of these injuries? Because a lot of times, like I said, people are only looking at the current injury report. They're forgetting that the guys are out all throughout the year. And, a lot of people take the seasonal stats and they're using that as their handicap, not realizing that, hey, this team's a lot better than their seasonal stats because these guys have missed X amount of games. And the injury matrix of Better IQ will allow you to see that over the course of the entire season, not just what's currently on the injury report, like you see like a Don Best and other injury reports. So it's a great tool for every sport.
Yeah, I know as a bettor that once we get into basketball, there's always that scenario. It happens all the time where starting lineups are published and, there's some guy that no one's really heard of, Billy Bob something from a smaller school is out. And you've got literally 2 minutes to figure out, is this guy actually worth anything? And you see people fumbling, trying to look it up in Blue Ribbon or whatever they, looking up box scores. But the ability to kind of instantly identify that guy's worth, that sounds like a really awesome feature.
Yeah, last year was a great example. The Bulls, I don't know if you remember when Mirotic was out for the Bulls, he missed the first, I think, 23 games of the season. The Bulls were 3-20, trending towards the under. He comes back, instant offense. The guy can shoot. He creates good space on the floor. Not a great defender. What do the Bulls do? I think they won something like 10-12 the next 22 games, but covered like 18 of those games. I think 75% of those games went over the total. So his impact, he's not a superstar player, and everybody follows him that closely. But if you watch the injury matrix and saw the games he missed versus the games he was there, overlay that against the results for the Bulls, it was amazing. They became a good bet-on team. They became a great over team. Then, of course, he got traded to the Pelicans later on in the season. What happened at the Pelicans? He made them an over team and them a great team. I think they covered 10 games in a row when he came over there to New Orleans. So, it's not always the superstar players that are moving the lines that are making a huge impact. Sometimes some of these role players, like a Mirotic, kind of surprise you and they impact the point spread quite a bit. So that's just one example where the injury matrix could really help you out.
See what I mean? Like, come on, guys. I mean, Brian, just look at, just things like that. That's huge.
That's awesome. Well, one of my favorite aspects of injuries and betting is a guy who's a little bit later in his career is announced into the game, and it actually might make the team worse, or, I think of Absolutely. I think of Tracy McGrady at the end of his career when they would announce he was out. I would think, oh, wow, they're going to be so much better now that this guy is out. But you would actually, the line would actually move, as if he actually meant something. Or Dwayne Wade, you can go make a long list of kind of guys in their late 30s that have the opposite effect, but the public doesn't necessarily bet that way.
That's huge. For, especially these injuries in NBA, they're so big. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Usually the NFL, like, would you say the NFL, you're down to maybe a quarterback, a couple of key running backs. Besides that, it's not that big like the NBA, right?
Yeah, the impact on injuries in the NBA is huge. I mean, you get one player, a superstar player could be 5, 6, 7 points against the spread. In football, Yeah, the only position you're going to get that in is probably the quarterback. Your next most important position might be like a lineman or somebody in the secondary. It might only be like a point or so if he's out. So, yeah, the NBA, the injuries are huge. So in college basketball, the same, right? Because college basketball, even more so, you have some of these teams who rely on one or two guys for the most of their scoring, creating offense. So the injury matrix is really huge in those sports because, A, you can't follow 350 teams by yourself.
Right.
Injuries. I mean, you just can't. Even Don Best can't keep up. There's injuries they miss on there. No. But our injury matrix will have, everything for the whole season. So it'll allow you to keep up on all the teams at one time instead of researching this stuff on your own.
I always love fading when a premier player comes back after an extended absence, say 2 or 3 weeks. I always love waiting for the move to happen and then fading that team in the first quarter in the NBA. I always think there's tremendous value just because of the chemistry that it takes to reintegrate a key player into the lineup in the first quarter. A lot of times you see teams struggle. A great opportunity to maybe bet the game one way, but bet the first quarter the other.
See, there you go. Now, there's just one of the little facets of that information, Better IQ, the information site. Well, we're getting ready to take a break. Stay with us. This is Fifth Street Sports. We're with Brian and Eric Waz. We'll be back in just 3 minutes. Stay tuned.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the Sports Talk host. I can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570.
All right, Frank, Brian is set up on the phone, so he's ready when we come back.
800-428-1570.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, and we have Eric Waz here in the house from Better IQ. Well, folks, this Sunday, as we all know, it's going to be the first week of the NFL season, and we got a breakdown on a couple games, couple sides we like. why we like them, and then after that, we're going to get into how we see the season going with a few of these new rule changes as we've talked to before. But Eric, so let's give these guys a game over here that we really kind of like. You like it. You wrote on the thing you like the Colts this week.
Yeah, I like Indianapolis a lot. So that line was -1 over Cincinnati way back over the summer when they released lines, and you've seen it start to go up. Now it's -3. Now Andrew Luck's playing, so his stats was uncertain, a couple of months ago, and he's looked all right. He's thrown the ball pretty well, and I think people kind of forget just how effective Andrew Luck was. I mean, he was a legitimate top 5 quarterback. Last season, they were basically using a third-string quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, they acquired from the Patriots, and they were competitive. I mean, they didn't have a great season, but they were competitive. It's a huge upgrade now going with Andrew Luck, and he's covered 58% of games as a starting quarterback in his career in NFL. That's a huge number.
That's gigantic compared. So you like that? So we're going with the Colts. Luck is back.
Mm-hmm. And Perfect is out for Cincinnati, who's their best defensive player. Right. He's on a suspension right now. He's going to miss the first 4 games, so he's out. Cincinnati's getting a little older. Dalton's getting older. A.J. Green. And they've had Marvin Lewis. I think it's his 16th year now as coach. He's kind of set in his ways. He's not getting any better. I just don't see much upside for Cincinnati. And the Colts, I think, Colts have a brand new coaching staff coming in and talking about making some positive changes. And I like their defense a little more than I did last year. So, yeah, I really like Colts -3 is my top play this week.
There you go. Colts -3. You heard it here from Better IQ and Eric. Hey, Brian, now you're still on the calling in, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're still in. All right, Brian, now give us your take. You got anything that you've put together so far really strong in the NFL this early in the week?
Well, I'm really curious to hear what Eric thinks. Eric, if you have a out that has good teaser odds, say like 3-1 on a 14er, and open spots, are you going to be trying to maybe chip away at a couple teasers in week 1, or you just wait until the 3rd or 4th week before you start with that?
I generally wait a little bit on teasers because week 1, week 2, there's so many unknowns. And generally, when I bet teasers, I want there to be some consistency. So when you're trying to tease it, in that tight range, just stay within a certain range of numbers. You really want to have a good feeling about, what's going to happen in that game. I just never personally, and now everybody could speak a little differently to this, but I feel like week 1, week 2, I want to see the teams play a little bit, some real games before I jump into teasers. So I'll wait on teasers. And I play a lot of Wong teasers, teasing through the 3 and the 7. So I do a lot of that, and I just don't.
Only way to play them, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to play. Especially if you can find an out you have -110 for Wong teasers. You can bet those blindly and make a pretty good profit every year. But yeah, I'll wait on teasers till at least week 3 or 4, and I like playing in lower total games. The higher total games where scoring's a little crazier, more variance, I shy away from. But lower total games, divisional games. But yeah, the key, you mentioned it. I mean, the key is having good outs, right? You got to have outs where you get good odds. Right. And, open teasers are great if you can find them. Not every book has those anymore. But if you can find open teasers where you can just take one at a time, knock them down, it's a great situation.
Brian, that's one of your favorite things. How many times have you talked about that? My gosh, it's like a good-looking girl like you're dating in school.
That's my favorite NFL attack weapon is teasers with open spots in the NFL. And I love the 110 on the 2 teamers. I really like those. I guess my specialty is the 3 teams plus 180, and then 4 teams. For plus 300. I think it's almost a 16% edge for the player if you're playing along. I'm going to chip away. I'm going to probably play the Baltimore and the Packers in a couple of teasers this week. But now, one thing I am a little bit worried about is tropical storm. It has potential to affect quite a few college games and potentially the Packers game on Sunday night if it tracks early. So we'll have to pay close attention to it. But that could be a really interesting wrinkle into the NFL on Sunday.
Yeah, so keep your eye on that hurricane hitting Florida. Well, guys, here's a game, Brian. I don't know how many times I've spoken to you about it this week, but I think they're going to trap me on these Eagles. I'm going to generally, I think I bet 8-2. I'll always be on the underdogs, but these Philadelphia Eagles got up to as high as 5 throughout the year, and early line. Now they're down to 2.5. The worst thing that could possibly happen is Foles starts. They're at home against an Atlanta team that I don't think is good. I don't think they're anywhere near what everybody's putting them out to be. So they're going to trap me on these Eagles minus 2.5. It looks really good to me, and I'm going to stay with it. So I'm going to stay on the season opener, Philly at home.
Yeah, it seems like a solid slot. Getting under that 3 is huge, obviously. Like you said, it was 5 at one point. Defending champs, I think a lot of people like going against the Super Bowl champs in Game 1, which that used to be a nice little trend there for years where you could fade the team who won the Super Bowl the first game. But the last 7-8 years, it hasn't worked out that way. So I don't think that's much of a thing anymore. But I think Foles may play, and that's why the line's been bet down. But Atlanta on the road, they've not been a good road team over the years. They love playing on their own home turf indoors. And, if you're going to play any side in this game, I don't see how you can take the Falcons at plus 2.5. It's got to be Eagles or pass for sure.
And talking to some of my, who else likes this game, Brian? Mr. R. Mr. R is all over this game. I talk to him every morning. We go back and forth on games. And this one, he says, Frank, he says, I'm with you. I'm gonna be like that big tuna, and I just saw like a giant injured squid. I'm gonna bite on it.
Wow.
What about
another question for Eric?
Should go fire away.
In terms of the season outlook, I've seen seems to be the most popular bet in amongst a lot of people I know is futures on the Giants, season win total over on the Giants. I'm a bit of a contrarian. I don't quite see it that way, but I'm curious. How do you view the Giants this year?
You know what? I'm kind of with you. I don't quite see what everybody else is seeing. Everybody's talking about an Eli Manning resurgence here and getting Beckham back for a full season. And they made some nice additions over in the offseason. So they're definitely a better team than they were last year, no doubt about it. But how many games did they win last year, right? They were awful. So the big thing you have to think about, though, especially in the NFC, is look how competitive the NFC is. I mean, it's stacked. I think if you look at the Super Bowl odds right now, something like 8 of the top 11 teams win the Super Bowl are in the NFC. I mean, it's absolutely loaded. Wow. AFC is a little sparse. You got New England, Pittsburgh, maybe a couple others. But in the NFC, I could see literally 7-8 teams coming out of there. And look at the schedule for the Giants. The NFC East has gotten a lot better, I feel like, overall. So, the schedule plays a big role for me when I look at season over wins, even more so sometimes than the moves they made in the offseason. So their schedule is not easy this year. So it's really hard for me to bet an over on a Giants team when I see so many better teams than them in the conference.
What about Brian? And Waz? What about in this AFC? What is everybody discounting Jacksonville out, or do you think they're not?
It seems like the Sharps are kind of shying away from Jacksonville a little bit, which is a little surprising because they had a great run last year. They got almost their entire team coming back. That division is fairly good. Everybody's gotten a little better in that division as well in the AFC South. But I don't know. People thought Blake Bortles was a little bit fluky last year. He can't play like this again. The defense, their numbers are about as good as it gets. So can they perform that again? I could see some reason for question marks, but at the same time, I feel like they need to show you they're not that team first before you bet against.
That's what I think. Now, what about the West, Brian? The West is the one division where you think we get air from. I think
it's wide open.
Right.
I think you could close your eyes and.
What do you think about the Gruden factor with Oakland, though?
Yeah, the West is kind of wide open, and Gruden coming in is interesting. I mean, I will say every sharp I've talked to about the John Gruden hire is way against it. Way against. I mean, it's first of all, you're paying the guy $100 million guaranteed, which is ludicrous for a coach over 10 years. But B, he wasn't all that successful, last time around. You look at his numbers, ATS and what he did, for bettors. Didn't really do himself any favors. He's kind of an old school mentality. He doesn't look at analytics. He just let Khalil Mack go to the Bears, which might end up being a good long-term trade for the Raiders, to be honest, with those draft picks. But hey, it doesn't say much for winning right now. He's your best player on defense. So I'm sort of on the fence with Gruden. I think he does some good things. I think he'll bring a fresh look to the team. They probably need to shake things up a little bit. But that division really is Kansas City's probably on the down, losing Smith and Mahomes being unproven, and the Broncos, the defense is going to be good, and they still don't have that quarterback. That Case Keenum's not the answer, I don't think, in Denver. I mean, he's an upgrade from what they had last year, but the team that all the sharps are talking about, at least guys in my circle, is the Chargers, and everybody likes the Chargers a lot. There's a lot of upside there, I feel like, and Rivers is a great quarterback, but I don't know. I mean, they got some injuries early on in the training camp and in the preseason. They seem to always be very injured, and they've got some big question marks as well. I don't know. That probably is the most wide open division in football, the AFC West, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Eric, do you find yourself, when you're betting season win totals, betting a majority unders when you look at all your tickets?
Yeah, you will see if you add up the wins, depending on the book you go to, you add up all the wins, and they almost always add up higher than they should be. They're inflating them to the over by half a point or so. So yeah, you got to look under first.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, Brian, we've been preaching about under the entire 2 weeks. Well, we're getting ready to wrap this up, this segment up, folks. We'll be back in about just a few minutes. Stay with us. We got Oklahoma Brian and Eric Waz in the house. We'll be back. 5th Street Sports.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the Sports Talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to 5th Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. You can find us on Facebook.com/5th Street Sports Talk, at Twitter at 5th Street Sports. We're back, and here it is. This is going to be a very important NFL segment we have over here. This one's we're gonna be talking Week 1 trends, and then Brian has a real good take on Week 2 angles. The Oklahoma Brian Angles. So Eric, let's get into Week 1 NFL trends.
Yeah, so Week 1's interesting every year. I mean, usually you see some odd things, and every year is a little different. We've had some rule changes this year, Frank, that I think are really interesting. Obviously, the helmet rule you saw in the preseason, they're trying to enforce that more so than ever. There was just a ton of flags. If you watch any of those preseason games, it was kind of ridiculous how many flags got thrown for a guy lowering his head. And they're trying to get more strict, trying to avoid injuries, get more strict on calling that. And I think we'll see that a lot in the first couple of weeks of the season. Then it'll probably taper off when people start getting up in arms about all the flags and everything going on. So I expect to see it a lot in Week 1. It'll obviously extend some drives. It'll lead to teams getting in better scoring position. But we also have the kickoff rule changing where teams can't get the 5-yard running start for kickoffs, defense. So you probably get some better kickoff returns, some longer returns, which will help field position as well. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, might be for Week 1 is look at what happened last year with the Eagles, right? The Eagles win the Super Bowl, and if you dissect what they did differently than everybody else, is they're really big on analytics. They went for it a lot on 4th down, 4th and short. If they're in midfield or even in their own field, sometimes they went for it. So I think you're going to see a trend starting once somebody wins a Super Bowl. A lot of times you'll see everybody jump on and do what that team did, a copycat or a clone. I think we'll see more teams go for it on 4th down. That's obviously going to help scoring as well because it'll extend drives. If you don't pick up the 4th down, then the other team takes over the ball right there instead of getting punted to 40 yards down the field. So we got 3 big factors working to our advantage to see more points. And you see the totals are a little higher than they usually are right now, but maybe not high enough for Week 1.
You make a good point with that 4th down. Like it seems like there's somebody in every division or every league that has to be like the Columbus. They have to be like the first one to do it. So now he starts doing the math and he starts taking chances, which you're putting your job on the line, going forward on 4th down, and they figure out that the math is there, that it works.
Right. And now they have a test case. It's worked, right? Like, so the Eagles won the Super Bowl doing it. Other coaches who are worried about maybe getting fired and not working out could say, hey, all we're trying to do is copy what the Eagles did over here, and we saw what they did and how they're able to execute it. So now they have a little something to fall back on, a little safety net they didn't have before. So I do think some teams, not every team, let's be honest. I mean, most coaches are still going to be a little weary about going for it on 4th down a lot. But you might see maybe twice as many coaches as last year be a little more aggressive, and that could change field position quite a bit. We should see some higher scoring because of it, I think.
And I just hope that the coaches that decide to go for it on 4th and 2 from the 50, 4th and 1, 4th and 3 from the other team's 48. I hope that if they fail a few times, that they stick with it. Because remember, you don't want them to just try it a couple times. They've never done it. It fails, and they go, okay, that was enough of that. I hope they know that this is a long-term math thing,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's tough sometimes, especially when they don't work out, and you instead of punting and getting the field position battle one, you're actually losing ground, and you have that happen a couple games in a row, or maybe it costs you a game, or puts you in a bad spot a few times. That coach is going to start thinking about his job a little bit more. Hey, if I keep doing this, it's not working out, I might get fired then. So you're going to see some teams try it and probably regress back. But, hey, early on in the season, as bettors, we're looking at what's happening now. And right now, I think we're going to see more of it. So let's focus on now. Worry about the few weeks down the road later when things change a little bit.
Good stuff here, guys. This is exactly what we always need on the show. I told you we have only 5-star guests and 5-star angles and trends. All right, so Brian, now you wanted to jump in. You have something on Week 2 NFL angles. Hello, Brian, you there with us?
I'm here.
Okay, Brian, so now what's your take on Week 2 of the NFL?
Are you asking me or Eric?
You.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess curious to hear what Eric thinks, but I've always felt that Week 2 is a phenomenal opportunity. When you see 1 week with one team that excels in Week 1 and another team lays an egg, and those teams play each other in Week 2, the public teams tends to overdo it on the team with a winning record, and I think there's a lot of value that these teams tend to regress to what we thought they were going to be before the year starts. So, yeah, I think if you can, hold your nose and maybe make the bet that's uncomfortable, but is actually the right bet, I think you can do really well. Week 2, I think, is one of the best betting weeks of the year.
Yeah, it's like that one game sample overreaction factor you kind of get here, especially it's the first impression of the year, right? Right, Brian. So you see a game play out, and you say, okay, let's see how this team looks this year. And you see them play an ugly game against somebody, especially if it's like a primetime game, like a Sunday night or a Monday night game where everybody's watching, the lights are on, and this team totally lays an egg. Everybody overreacts and says, oh, this team's going to be garbage this year, not realizing, hey, this is just one game. Maybe they had a little, they're a little bit, out of sorts week one, a little nervous, whatever, and they didn't play their A game. Doesn't mean they're going to play this way the entire season, but it tends to play out where the line gets bet that way. You might get an extra point or two of value going the other way. So I look that way as well. It's kind of like a little bit of an up-down theory. A team that plays up one week usually plays down the following week. If they play down, they go back up. So it's a lot of that too is motivation, right? If you play a really terrible game as a professional football player and you're embarrassed on national TV, don't you think next week you're probably going to give a bigger effort than you might if you won the game by 20 points the week before? And you're just, as a human beings, we're motivated to play better and do better when things don't work out. We want to prove ourselves to everybody that, hey, we're better than this. So I think that's a great, it's a great way to look at week two is kind of go against the trend in week one.
Well, all right, guys. So there we have it. So now, just to recap quickly before we move on, because I know Brian, you got another good take on something. To recap it, week one, we're going to see a lot of we expect to see a lot of flags in the secondary, drives that get continued, teams that are playing more 4th and 2, more like that Philadelphia Eagle kind of football they did in the Super Bowl, and that's all in week one. Right.
More scoring probably as a result of all that.
Yeah, and how about the kickoff thing where you don't get the
Yeah, that's big too. I mean, the standings, they have to stand still, at the 40, I believe, instead of running back 5 yards and getting the head start down the field. That's huge. I mean, that might lead to 2, 3, 4 extra yards on each return, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get that every single drive for the entire game, that's going to equate to a couple of points probably.
Exactly. So there's 3 big things, because remember, when the team goes forward on 4th and 2 from the 50, if they make it, the drive keeps going. If they don't, the other team gets it at midfield. And then recapping week 2.
It's a win-win for the over, for sure.
Yep.
Right? How about, and then so we're recapping week 2, Brian. That's the angles of the like the zigzag, right, or the unobvious, as it would be.
Yeah, that's right. So I have another question, Eric. How do you think things end for this Patriots dynasty? Do you think that they maybe win 11, 12 games this year and then everyone rides off into the sunset as friends, or do you think that they're going to push this thing until the wheels come off and the end is going to be really ugly?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I haven't thought that far ahead, but for this season, I don't think there's going to be a huge pull. I mean, a lot of people are saying there's going to be a huge pullback this for New England. There's a lot of turmoil inside the locker room, and Belichick and Brady might not be getting along like they used to, and Gronk, they almost tried to trade Gronk away in the off, which is, to me, it seems very odd given their lack of receivers this year. So definitely something brewing there in the locker room. But at the end of the day, I mean, they've got the best coach in the league by far, Bill Belichick. They've got probably the best quarterback, if not, in that top 3 at least right now. He had a great season last year. Yes, they don't have the great receivers. Their defense is suspect. They just lost Matt Patricia, their defensive coordinator for the last 6 years, who was huge. He's instrumental in building that defense. So, and there's probably less depth there than they've had the last few years. So there is some reasons for concern, no doubt. I don't know if New England's going to have another 13, 14 win kind of year like they've had in the past, but I'm predicting this year they'll be around that 11-win mark. Their division is very easy. There's nobody in that division capable of winning it besides New England, unless there's huge injuries for the Patriots. Their schedule lines up very favorably, so I don't see how they can win less than 10 or 11 games, to be honest. And I think they'll keep riding it. I think this might go on another season or two. After it all depends on Brady, right? He's kind of the first domino. If he decides to hang it up, and they have to start over with a new quarterback, and they just lost Garoppolo. They had traded away last year because they knew that he wasn't going to be playing the next couple of years. They lose Brady and don't have a good, adequate backup, but that could be the beginning of the end of the dynasty. So I think we'll just wait and see how Brady decides to carry on. He says he wants to play another 5 years. Last year he mentioned that. So if he plays till he's 45 and still is productive, I mean, this thing could go for a while. I'm not ready to throw in the towel in the Patriots dynasty yet.
Well, it's definitely a tough question. maybe I'm overly contrarian, but I think there's value fading the Patriots at a nice price. Like, I know it seems impossible the Dolphins can win this, and that might be a little bit overly optimistic, but I can't imagine the people that are laying 10-1 on the Patriots to win the division, that can be a winning bet in the long run. I would love to book some of that 10-1 action.
Yeah, that's a little tall. I saw 6-1. I saw 6-1 earlier, -600 somewhere a few weeks ago. I don't think that's a bad number. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, a lot would have to go wrong for them not to win the division. I think 9 games would probably win the division, to be honest. And for the Patriots not to win 9 games would be be a really tough year.
Boy, Brian, that kind of just gave your whole Patriots downfall thing a nice little 8 count, right? You thought he was going to jump on board the Titanic, right?
All I need is I just need that 41-year-old quarterback to have to comply with all of the other 41-year-olds.
Feel his age a little bit.
Slow down just a little bit.
Hey,
yeah.
but I think if he doesn't get hit, I think he's going to go down just the same thing as Peyton Manning does. Playing, all of a sudden he gets hit and he just can't, and he's not going to get up. But we could be looking at the Satchel Paige of football here. This guy might be, I don't know, quarterback and throwing for 4,000 yards at 45 years old.
Could be, yeah.
And there's a lot of sharp money against the Patriots each year. The last few years, especially, you see a lot of, just an individual game, some sharp money coming against the Pats, and some of these numbers maybe get a little inflated. But it seems like Bill Belichick every year seems to find new advantages. In the new rule changes, he'll find an advantage. Like a few years ago with the kickoff change, he decided we're going to pop up the kickoffs to like the 5-yard line and not kick in the end zone anymore. And he gained a lot of field position there. And it seems like he's always got like a mastermind. He's always finding a way to create a little edge with the rules, or maybe taking a player that wasn't useful at another stop and bring him in-house and make him into somebody that could be a really good player. So I don't know. It's hard betting for me. It's hard betting against him, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady as well.
Sure.
Until I see the wheels start to come off, maybe. And I'm not saying, hey, I'm a flexible bettor. I have this opinion now today. 2 weeks from now, I could be seeing a different tune. I don't hold on to my convictions for that long. I'm a very fluid. Watch the games. You have to be.
Yeah, but Brian, there's one thing that I want to get clear. Just before the first week of the NFL,
sure.
I might come off like the Ralph Cramden over here, and really, really come out of here with tons of egg on my face. But I'm gonna go completely against you with these Cleveland Browns. I think I'm like Larry the Cable Guy. Every morning when somebody calls me and says, "Frank, where are you going?" I say, "I'm taking the Browns to the Super Bowl." I think this team is going to be so bad. See, we're opposite on this one again, and who knows? I mean, they might win the division, and they say, "Oh, should have listened to Brian again." Not Frank. What does Frank know? But I'm fading you with the Browns, brother.
I can see why.
I'm fading you with the Browns.
One win in 2 years. It's hard to get on board. But
they're 1-31. I'm going to step out and go anti-Cleveland Browns. We'll be right back over here. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll wrap up the show. We got Waz in the house.
Urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. We have Eric Waz here from Better IQ. We've had Brian Allen, always my co-host, most of the time. Well, we spent the hour talking about three different segments of football, and I wanted to bring to you our special guest. His site is Better IQ. Now remember, he's shared a lot of these things with you, and when you go to his site on his articles, the content, and the site is fairly new, so we're going to start with you go in there and you register for free. Everything is free right now. Later on when did you say you're going to upgrade a little bit?
So we'll have some betting tools up there in a few weeks. But for now, if you sign up, you get free picks. So you get absolutely free. You get picks every week for football. You'll get all the content for free. So everything on our site, all of our articles, all of our pieces will be free. The betting tools will be there by end of the month, and you can get the betting tools by buying them individually, or you can buy a subscription for picks, and you get the tools along with that subscription. So either way you want to go in it, I say just go there, check it out, sign up for a free account, and then also we have a promotion going right now. If you sign up and put in the discount code NEWHOME20, you get 20% off of everything that we have available for sale. Any subscription for picks, anything you want. NEWHOME20 is the code.
There you go, guys. Right from Better IQ, Fifth Street Sports, recommending it. Brian, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, listen, brother. I know that you got the day off tomorrow, and we go back to our contest on Friday, the Fifth Street Challenge Best of 100, and you're up 4-3. I was a little pissed because I saw some of the handicappers and the bettors wanted to put it on, wagering sites that you're a $1.35 favorite. So I recommend that you do your homework this week because I'm taking that a little offensive right now.
All right. I'll be ready.
Okay. So Brian up 4-3 after week 1. He is a $1.35 favorite, the best of 100.
Can I fire the Better IQ games at you, or is that
No, you can't. Come on, brother. I mean, you can't be doing that. You're already supposed to.
We could both check them out then, and both have the same.
Oh no! I mean, you can go to Better IQ. Yeah, sure. I mean, how am I going to stop you from doing that, folks? It's been a great hour. Thanks a lot, Eric, Brian. Great show. I'll see you back Thursday. Enjoy your day off. It's been Fifth Street Sports.
All right.
Have a good afternoon.
USA Radio News.
Today, U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, said that President Trump will host the United Nations Security